Welcome back. It is officially week 4, I believe. However, week 3 was so little that I don't even think it counts. I personally would not count it. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Technically week 4, lift 1, chest day. I'm warming up with some 45s here. I'm going to do about 3 sets, 2 sets of 15. Really get the blood pumping. I should start with the battle ropes instead of end with them. However, I'm already here, so I'm not going to do that today. Typical chest day, typical chest workouts. This, incline, flies, face pulls, shoulder lateral raise. Same thing every week over week, basically. I'm about 12 weeks out from Mr. Olympia, which is kind of scary, but that's the truth. So I might as well stop being scared and just maybe have no opinion about it because it is what it is. But anyway, let's do some incline, or whoop, let's do some bench press. Alright, I did 2 sets of 15 with 135. Now we're looking at 195. And this is going to be my first set out of 3 working sets, as we're always going to be doing. So that was 10. Definitely 3 reps in reserve, maybe a few more. But it felt pretty good, and I wanted to stop before I felt exhausted, just to ensure that it was really about 3, maybe 5 reps in reserve. Next set, of course, I'll lose some energy, or just strength, whatever. So I should be able to be doing about 8 or 9 next set. But yeah, so I'll see you at the next lift. Now that we are on incline bench press, I am inclined to tell you absolutely nothing. I was 13. Lucky number 13. Good stuff. We're now on to chest flies, 145 pounds. So however many reps of this I do, I could hug somebody with that amount of force that many times in a row. It's all about the hugs and sharing the love. It's actually pretty good. I don't know what it is, the fluctuation. Sleep. Sleep is important. I gotta work on that. Make sure I'm really getting a good amount of sleep. That's probably my biggest, I don't know what to call it, but like thing holding me back. Sleep. Yeah. Now we're doing face pulls, and then we're going to wrap it up with the dumbbell lateral raise. What time is it? 8:08. Pretty quick workout. I think it's also worth noting that my Apple Watch with the remote control camera and everything is actually working right now. So that's nice because it's rare for it to work. So I feel like I need to call it out. Because sometimes I'll call out when it really doesn't work. which is actually most days. It'll freeze, it'll just never show. But it's a known problem too. Apple has known about it, or at least people have known about it and told Apple about it for years, which is sad. But here we are, and it's working. So I'm happy about it. Maybe they fixed it miraculously, or not miraculously, because it's really not a miracle to fix it. It should be totally possible. But anyway, cable face pulls 65 pounds. I found that when I go like this grip, it's decent, but when I go like this grip, it's even better. So I'm going to switch up my grip on this, but I'm keeping the ropes. Before I was switching between ropes and non-ropes and stuff for a little while, testing out the waters, but I figured stick with the devil you know. Whew. 33, how about that? Final workout of the day, shoulder dumbbell, lateral raise. I feel good today. Like I was saying earlier, I just feel better from Mr. Olympia, feeling better about myself and everything. Yeah, I still have a lot of university work to do, so that's gonna crush me. But focusing on not getting stressed about it, focusing on getting enough sleep, overall life balance, stuff like that. It's tough, it's tough to maintain everyone says do these 10 things in the morning, and it becomes 100 things, and then it's do these things before bed, do these things during the day, and it's impossible to do everything. So it's just finding, it's slowly adding in things or taking away things that will eventually balance out life in the way that, one, that I want it to, and two, that I need it to, right? Overall health and everything like that. I don't want to sleep. I'd much rather love to be awake all the time and be able to do stuff. But I have to sleep. Like, my body literally does need sleep. So I have to value it. Stuff like that. And so I want to improve that more. Turning off my phone, not being on my phone before I go to sleep, keeping the lights out before I go to sleep, stuff like that. Not staying up too late. Yeah. But couple that with everything else, it gets really difficult. And so you gotta start making trade-offs, stuff like that. And just overall for life. I'm getting to the point now where I have to start. I'm about 26. I'm 2-3 weeks away from being 26. So I'm past my quarter life crisis, where I'm right around it. So I'm getting around to where I really have to start deciding what I'm really gonna do and what I'm not gonna do, like kind of mentally, or actually writing down a list of all the things I want to do in my life, all the lives that I want to live, and then really just deciding to not do them. Because some of the things I want to do in my life are so contradictory to each other that I maybe could do both, but also I really can't. Like, I love living in a city with a lot of people and having that city life, but then also I think it'd be nice to live on a farm, or like on a big plot of land, and not be isolated, but have some time to myself, and have like that type of lifestyle, like a slower kind of gardening, self-sufficient almost lifestyle, just more peaceful, out in the country, But that is so contradictory to so many other parts of my life that I have to decide, like, okay, it's a thing that I want, but I really can't do it, or maybe I can, but just not right now. And life is so unpredictable in so many ways that I can have a list of everything I want to do in my life, but who knows where anyone else is gonna end up, Like, you just kind of take it step by step, and yeah, you have a long-term vision, and you have long-term goals or things that you're motivated to do and ambitions, but ultimately you can only predict. The further out you get, the more high level it has to be, but even then it's hard to predict. Like Jeff Bezos, he knew he wanted to build Amazon into a big company. Could he ever foresee where he is now when he first started? On a certain level, maybe. He knew he was going to be wealthy. He knew he was going to create a big, lasting company that had a big impact. But those are so broad and high level you know, he didn't know that he was going to get divorced or get into politics or start a space company, Blue Origin, anything like that, right? So you kind of take it step by step, and yeah, you have an overall very, very, very high level vision, like build a big company. When you get into any more detail after that, even what type of big company, right? There's some companies that start in one way and then they shift completely. And they still become a big company, but they're totally different from how they started. And that shift that the company makes is based on some future event that's unpredictable. But you just have to be prepared to shift. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now, is just trying to focus on the next thing, or the next few things, you know. And then after that, just aim big, but be agile. And on that note, let's do some lateral rows. My left elbow still hurts. Classic 10. Alright, that's the end of the video for today. I love you. Ciao.